greenhouse this afternoon, and it's the 11th of April. The rain has stopped, but it's still quite grey out there, but it's all right. I'm nice and safe and dry in the greenhouse, which is fabulous. Now what I'm going to show you this afternoon is I'm going to sow some more flower seeds. I've got a nice selection of them here. First of all, I've got Candytuft, which are just so beautiful. They're lovely. I sowed some of these last year and they did really well. I've got from Pennard Plants a Cottage Garden cut flower mix there. From Mr. Fothergill's, I've got some Cosmos. Now Cosmos are lovely. They grow really quite tall. They come in all sorts of different colours. These ones are white. I have grown, I think, pink ones before, but they grow quite tall, but they're beautiful for cutting off and having some flowers in the house. And also, I'll try not to lose these packets because I've opened it the wrong way. A load of sunflowers. Now there's 6 different varieties in here. There's Colour Parade, there's Italian White, Pacino Gold, Red Sun, Russian Giant and Teddy Bear. They all vary in different sizes. Some are really quite small, some only get up to about 2 feet. But others will get up, like the Russian Giants, they'll hopefully get up really tall, hopefully about 10 foot plus, but we'll soon see. But all the flowers are different sizes, and as you can see, lots of different colours. So let me show you how to sow these. Now I've got a little tray here. It's got 3 different sections in it. So I'm going to sow Candytuft in one of them, the Cottage Garden cut flower mix in another, and the Cosmos in another one. Okay, so all we need to do is to fill up each section with some multi-purpose compost. Now some of these you can sow straight out into the garden. The Cottage Garden cut mix you can. However, even though it says that for some of them, I prefer to sow them inside in little trays, because I just find that the germination rate is so much better if you start them inside or in a tray. Because when they start to come up, you're never quite sure whether they're weeds or whether they're flowers, and sometimes you end up pulling up a load where you shouldn't, so you lose them. So I personally just find this a much better way of doing it. Now once you've put the compost in, all you need to do is to just water the compost and just let that settle through, and once it's settled through, then you can start sowing your seeds. Now the first ones I'm going to sow in this big section, these are the Cottage Garden mix. So there's all sorts of different seeds here. Can you see them? Lots of different types of flowers, so therefore lots of different types of seeds. These will be great down the allotment because they'll attract a load of the pollinators, but also they'll be absolutely brilliant in the garden because there'll be all sorts of different colours as well. So I will just sprinkle those across the top. I don't think I'm going to do all of these because there are lots and lots in the packet. So I think I'll just do about half. Okay, and I'll save the other half for next year. So that's the Cottage Garden. Then we'll do the Cosmos, and again there are quite a lot in here. So I'll only do a few of these. And here are the Cosmos seeds. They're long and thin. In fact, Cosmos, they're very easy to save the seeds for the following year. Okay, they're really easy to save. Or you could just let them fall on the ground and then they'll start to germinate next year. So I'll just sprinkle those in this one here. Don't worry if some of the seeds get a bit too close together. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then finally in this section here, I'm going to do the Candytuft. So let's just take these out. And again, there's loads here, so I'm not going to do them all. These are the Candytuft seeds. They're very flat and sort of a tanny brown colour. So I'll sprinkle those over here as well. If you do get some of these seeds mixed up with the Cottage Garden mix, to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. They'll all be going in the garden or in the allotment, and they'll be mixed up anyway. So if you wanted, you could sow these in one big tray and just sprinkle them all over the place and just mix them up if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. Now, once we've put our seeds in, then we just need to put a little bit of compost on the top. Just level it off gently, don't pat it down. All of these seeds are quite large, so you don't need to be extra specially careful. Okay, and only put a tiny amount of compost over the top. You can put a decent amount over the top. And make sure that you label them properly. I'll have to remember what ones they are because I've covered them all up. And I'll leave these in the greenhouse to grow, and I'll keep you updated on their progress. Right, now we move on to the sunflowers. As I say, that there are 6 different varieties here. Some of them are quite small and some of them are quite large. These Puccino Gold ones are really little as well, and the teddy bears, I think the teddy bears have to be my favourite. They just look like big yellow fluffy balls. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to sow these. You can either sow these in 3-inch pots, or you can do them the way that I'm going to do them now. I've got some containers here, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, hang on, you've got 6 different varieties of sunflowers here, and you've only got 4 sections here. Well, I'm going to be very risky, and I'm going to mix them all up. If you want to sow them separately, then please do so, but I usually put these out into the allotment anyway, and just sort of dot them about on my plot. So it doesn't really matter for me to have them all separate. So I'm going to mix them up and be a bit of a rebel, because it's always good to be a bit of a rebel every now and then. So fill your trays up with compost, level them off, fill up all the tiny little holes there, and then when you've done that, you need to give the compost a good old water. Let it soak through. Now all these sunflowers will get sown at exactly the same time, which is in sort of middle of March to the middle of April. So that's why I'm going to just mix them up. Now these are the Italian whites. Sunflower seeds all vary ever so slightly in colour and in size. The bigger the sunflower, the bigger the seed. That seems to be the general rule. So these are the Italian white. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few in each section like that. Okay, and then the next ones are the Puccino ones. Oh, let's get these out. Oh, there's another one stuck in there. There it is. Now these are roughly the same colour, but they are much bigger. Now you can, as I say, start these in 3-inch pots if you like. You don't have to. You can do them on a seed tray like this, or you can do them on a seed tray that's a bit bigger. It's entirely up to you. I will pot these on into 3-inch pots when they get a bit bigger. Now these ones are the teddy bear ones, and they're about the same size as the Chino ones, but they're slightly lighter in colour. So we'll just dot those across. If you do get any that are just a little too close to each other, don't worry, I wouldn't worry. Now these are the giant ones, these are the Russian giants. My tallest sunflower I grew years and years and years ago, and I think it got to about 15 foot. I could actually see it over the top of the gazebo. Oh, there's a butterfly. So these are the giant ones, the Russian giant. They're much larger, and they all vary ever so slightly in size, in colour. Some are stripy and some aren't. So we'll just pop those in. I've never grown one quite so tall since, but I always hope that I will grow a really tall one, that I'll stand on a step ladder and I can't quite reach it. Maybe this will be the year. And then we have the red sun ones, which are there, and they're what I would class as middly size, but they're lots of different colours as well. Now these should start to poke through in about 2 to 3 weeks, and so should the other seedlings. They might be slightly quicker. Make sure you don't get your sunflower seeds too wet, because otherwise they'll rot and then they won't grow. And finally we've got the colour parade, which are lovely because they're all sorts of different colours, and because they're all sorts of different colours, the seeds are all sorts of different colours as well. And there they are. So we'll just pop those in just there. Oop. Find lots of little spaces to put them in. I still do have a few left over in some of the packets, so I might sow those individually into 3-inch pots. But once you've sown your seeds, then just cover them with some more compost, level it out, but don't pat it down. And we won't need to water any of these for the next couple of days at least, because the compost underneath is nice and damp, so it'll keep the seeds going for a couple of days. So I'll label these and go mixed sunflowers so that I know that they're a little bit of everything. Right, well that's all those seeds sown, so I will keep you updated on their progress. I managed to get the little butterfly out of the greenhouse. You'll be glad to hear, because I didn't want it laying eggs on my brassicas, so it's much better outside. But as I say, I will keep you updated on the progress of the flower seeds, and when I do another stage with them, then I'll let you know. Well, I hope you found that interesting, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.